set. We are at a tie match at the trough. Double gen pop to avoid the deadlock. They do go down. There is a haste status effect. They do have to be careful here. The hatch is going to spawn momentarily. Deadhard could get them the distance to get it too. Shot.
Really smart play on the ace. Oh my god, getting shot through the window.
No longer have distortion, and they are going to teleport here. I think they get there in time. Yes!
Oh, the grab. Yes! That is disappointing.
This is be a 4-man out because.
Yeah, but they will be able to block this. Yo, getting caught on that. Ace coming with the body block. Oh, they were here.
Titans of DBD duke it out as we are going to be starting off with Eternal Spirit versus Rubyville Survivor Team. Hello! That is good news. That is good news. Yeah, honestly, this is going to be really interesting. So we were kind of talking about this a little bit before the match started, but Spirit versus Artist on Suffo. I will note here, Nightlight finding a survivor very quickly. Scratch marks, 2 sets of them, but no sign of the survivor themselves. And looks like Nightlight will see them over in Shack ever so briefly. Speaking of, Nightlight has in fact found the Ada, and we are in the first chase.
Yeah, I can hear Gil. I heard Gil when you did the switch, but I did not hear you.
Windows.
Well, for those who have been hearing me, hopefully you got the gist of what littlerugaard was trying to say. You know, I'm sure something Trickster's the best, something #1.
I hate it here, okay?
World record.
I hate it here. I hate it here so much. I double checked my mic settings before turning this on, and it still didn't take it. I'm very annoyed right now. I think it's just Windows. Windows has done this to me every other week recently, and I am about to switch to Linux. I am that fed up with Windows.
With that being said, though, first hook for the Spirit down in the basement of Suffocation Pit, though Survivor's not going down without a fight, as we do see the first gen pop off as well.
That we do. And worth noting is that this basement hook is in the center of 2 really nice persistent gens, but I don't really see a 3rd generator that they'd be looking at. Is there a 3rd generator that I'm missing here?
Yeah, so there's the one on the hill there. There's the one behind Log Pile. It's a little bit too close for my taste in mid, to where you don't have line of sight, where you have to kind of go out a bit far. And we see Survivors working on that gen too. And so that's my main concern by holding down this hook here at this 3 gen. It does feel a little bit dangerous.
You know, I kind of feel that. However, Survivors were at that 3rd generator, like you said, A little bit difficult. They're definitely going to secure the second stage. The question is, do you bother going in for the unhook at this point? Do you try to bang out that third generator in the middle here and let the Spirit have the second and third stage?
I mean, I think the Spirit here is going to go for the pressure, and we do see them go for another kick. We do note that that gen has been highlighted in yellow for quite some time, and we do see the unhook down in basement as well. So this here will show whether or not this is a eruption or a Colubrine.
Oh.
And looks like that there alone will let us know as we do see the Colubrine noise notification.
Indeed, and Ada being super quiet there and will be able to get away. However, that pallet is already gone, and I don't think this Ada is long for the world. Yeah, I think she's going to go down momentarily. However, they will be able to get a second. Wait, hold on. Is this a DS Force?
It is possible.
It is!
See, on top of which, we also saw another generator pop off. Not sure which one. We see it for the people from
Oh,
the
my
Ace.
word.
These survivors really want to make sure Ace does not get out of the game that quickly, and the Spirit in a little bit of trouble here.
Just a little bit. Yeah, that is an incredible turnaround there using the Decide Strike because, oh, right. She had already taken a hit. She was in deep wound status effect. You couldn't for the people that. Oh,
Yeah,
my goodness. What a play.
Correct.
What a play. And now Ace over here taking the chase instead. However, 2 generators are done. Wait, hold on. Hold on.
What's that? Any means?
Strong arms?
I had to sit there for a second, like, what is that animation? And I'm pretty sure that's any means necessary. These survivors wanting to preserve the pallets as much as possible throughout this match. Spirit with the phase walk, but will successfully get the down on the Ace after all.
Okay, so I actually have some knowledge on this. So I don't know. Otstarva started a new channel called Ots Clips. And one of their first clips was a tech where you use any means necessary to act like you're slow vaulting the pallet. Yeah, it makes the same noise as slow vaulting the pallet. So the Spirit might think that you're crossing over while they're phasing. It's actually a really cute tech.
Yeah, that's actually really interesting and really cool to see. With that being said, I think this is the first time that we've seen a Spirit venture over to this side of finding the K and eating a pallet too.
Man, this Ada is jump scaring me more than the Spirit is this game. I'm not gonna lie. It's kind of ridiculous. That's the second time I did not expect an Ada on my screen, but oddly enough, they didn't take chase with Ada, even though she's dead.
Yeah, instead going for the K here, maybe just trying to prioritize those fresh hook points. Ada only worth 1 point right now.
You know, that's a fair
versus
point.
Kate, who is worth 3. And they're in a bit of a rough position here as they have only gotten one person to second stage. Ace has his first hook, and so I think they're in the right mindset, especially as 2 gens are left remaining in this match at a 2-2 split on top of which.
You know, that's actually a really, really good point, is it might just be too late to get a survivor out of the game by tunneling means, just to, you know, make the game a bit more manageable. Because obviously the Spirit has the perks available to them to slow this game down, but yeah, they definitely need to start prioritizing those fresh hook points. As I mean, Eternal's a very confident survivor team, so I would imagine as long as this killer can get a number of hook states for them, they would be happy to try and return, you know?
Yeah, absolutely. No, it would make a lot of sense here. So that's going to be the biggest question. Like I said, we were talking about this earlier. Artist versus Spirit, which one do we favor on this map? And realistically speaking, I do favor the Artist, but just their ability to pressure from their 3-gen without having to do really anything, on top of which getting a lot of information throughout the match. But Spirit here finding the Ace once again. This would be pushing them onto second stage. That would be huge here, and we do see that pre-drop into a Lithe, I think.
That would be the most common occurrence. Again, it's really crazy to me, because I didn't see this until watching competitive, where you drop the pallet, use your Lithe to get distance, just because it's so valuable. And survivors do that almost all the time with Lithe at this point, right? It's a pretty common occurrence.
It is a common occurrence. It makes a lot of sense. There's the grab, though, from the Spirit. And the second hook stage here on the Ace, he'll be that much closer to being sent back to the campfire via the Entity. So both him and Ada do need to stay out of the line of sight from the Spirit.
Indeed, and that is a pain resonance as we see the damage generator. I don't know if we called that out yet. We called out Corrupt, obviously, because that was in there, and we called Colubrine. However, survivors do finish a generator, and that gen has a significant amount of progress. These survivors are not too far out from getting some outs here.
Yeah, absolutely. However, I will note that they are now in chase with the Atom. Once again, a fresh survivor. And it looks like they will get a hit here before the vault.
Absolutely, power back up, and yeah, here comes the phase. Question is, can they find the Atom? Scratch marks are still here. There is no lucky break. Yeah, and they do.
No lucky break allowed versus Spirit, and they will in fact find Atom and get the down.
No, oh my goodness, I thought that was about to be it. I thought they had that flashlight just a little bit too late, and so this will be a fresh hook. And I imagine what we'll see here is a camp to death and be a 8-stage 1K, unless the Spirit has something else in mind. I think they want more.
Yeah, it is. It's looking like they want someone here. I mean, fact of the matter is, if they do kill the Ada, if they kill the Kate and get them out of the match, that is 2-point difference gained.
True.
1 point for the Spirit, 1 point taken away from the survivors. It's basically the equivalent of the second hook stage here. However, I think the right move is still to camp out this Adam, though we have not seen Deliverance, I don't think, which means Adam here could potentially have it.
Very good point, and we'll have to see if that is the case. They did open the exit gate. Here comes the... Yeah, you're right. There is the Deliverance, as well as the Sprint Burst away. There comes the phase walk. Can they get it in time? Can they body block?
And
You hear the Atom? No!
Yeah, unfortunately, even with that phase walk, they just had so much distance with that Sprint Burst.
It's absolutely insane. I'm wondering if... Was it worth giving him a hit as well for the extra speed boost? I don't know in that situation. Would it have been better not to? That's so close, though. That's so close.
The issue is 10 seconds enough to get to the exit gate? I think potentially just the amount of time it takes may have just been just enough. And
I also want to point out, quick and quiet enemies necessary. They were ready for some mind games on those pallets.
I appreciate it. I appreciate it. It's very cute.
Absolutely, that was pretty cool. But with that said, really good start for Ruby Wolves. That was a very good game against I would say it was a really decent Spirit. Just that for the people after the decisive might have been game changing. That actually might have turned the tide of the game completely. That was insane.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. That was a huge play. But with that being said, though, we are going to be set up for the next lobby. Before we do, though, we are going to go on a quick break. So, as always, thank you all for joining us today, as you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So that as they watch all the bits that I tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy you buy, using code COTF goes supporting Champions of the Fog and our prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Stay tuned, folks. everybody, welcome back to trial number 2. It is back on the suffocation, but however, this time, Ruby Wolf's gonna be bringing an artist in. We kind of talked about it beforehand, but I really, really like artists on this map. However, like, Spirit's really good in that middle area, but artist is just like, oh, what's this? A 5-gen for me? You shouldn't have.
Yeah, on top of that, the fact of the matter is that they are just going to be in a much better spot as we're looking at a 16 point difference.
No
So,
shot.
0 point difference between the two. It's a tie match. Artist is in a really good position to take set number 1 on Suffocation Pit.
You know, that's a very fair point. And a split corrupt? Interesting. You don't see this too often on Suffocation Pit anymore. Usually you see it on like maybe ARP or something, not Suffo.
Yeah, it definitely is a little bit odd, though when it does happen, it is a boon for every survivor, and actually it really hurts the killer in spawn prediction as well, as you aren't able to really pin down where people spawn, as corrupt's usually a really good indicator. We see Artist here, though, trying to get a hit on the Ada at Shack, unsuccessful in doing so, as Ada will get a little bit of distance, and it looks like Artist will drop Chase.
You know, I think that's a pretty good idea. Well, actually, I say that. I was like, they'll go back and check out the 3-gen. Any 3-gen they have here is actually really spread out. This is a really spread out gen situation. I don't think that's what the artist had in mind.
Yeah, I don't think so either. And we do see Artists dropping off and moving towards a corrupted zone. I get a feeling that they are going to pay if they do not drop this Chase now. And like, I don't know, I feel like they need to settle on an area they're going to protect. And I'm actually kind of looking at the gen spread here on main side. This is actually kind of rough.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Like, it's kind of, you know, okay, so main side is like a, you know, a giant rectangle. But all the gens are in all 4 corners of that rectangle. Like, yes, it's still like, you know, a decent gen setup, but it's so spread out. It's ridiculous. And then on the opposite side where Shack is, where the corrupt side is on those 2 gens, those gens are also really spread out. Like, this is a really, really strong setup for the survivors, I feel like.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. We say all the time how RNG can influence the turnout of a match, and I think we're definitely going to see here, but Ace going down to the artist. Really good prediction it there, and right in front of a hook too. So this here will be the first hook of this match, as Ace will go on the hook, but no sign of Scourge Hook Pain Resonance just yet.
Not just yet, yeah, survivors immediately want to set up for that save there as, ooh, Deadlock. Well, that's a good thing. Okay, Artist now knows that that is the only generator that has the most progression, so strong start for the Artist here, and I imagine they'll camp this to death.
Yeah, however, we do see 2 survivors coming in. Artist trying to stop them from doing so, but Claude will get it in time to avoid the 1-for-1 trade. And looks like they are going to go for the tunnel out on the Ace. If only the Ada able to body block, they're in a really good position here. Absolutely.
And not to mention the fact that those survivors now have to go reset and they can't be on gens. This is a really, really good spot for the others. However, this Ace is taking them far, far away from that corner gen that they were wanting to defend. I imagine they'll actually go back and try and finish that corner gen that got deadlocked. Oh, there's Ada.
Yeah, Ada trying to come in for the body blocks. However, those severed hands actually making it really hard as we see the Ada take the hit and spread the crows as well to the Ace. Looks like they are going to drop Chase with the Ace as they are making their way into the middle, instead taking the Ada for their first hook.
I guess, you know, switch of plans here. If you fresh hook everybody, how many hook stages do you need after you fresh hook? You said there was 16 points, so a fresh hook on everybody, 2 other hooks, that's ties, right?
Yeah, so if we're looking at this, everyone got fresh hooked last match against the Eternal Spirit, and we saw two stages. So realistically speaking, all they need to do is they need to get, let's see, 1, 2, 3 kills would get it. Otherwise, a fresh hook across everyone and 1 person dead with another person on second stage or death hook would also work. So a lot of complicated math here, a lot of different scenarios that could result in Ruby Wolf's victory, but we'll have to wait and see if they're able to get there.
Indeed. Again, 2nd gen finishing. Adam coming in for the unhook, it looks like. And I'm trying to think, because 2nd gen got done, was it the... It wasn't that corner gen, though, was it? it wasn't the corner gen that got deadlocked, so they have a separate... Ace coming in here trying to get rid of that crow. So they actually have maybe 2 more gens ready to pop here, and they will get that safe unhook. Ace also fresh still. I'm sorry, not fresh. Uninjured. However, Ada looked like they might get tunneled out here. Ace trying to body block.
Desperately to body block, and will successfully do so at the window. Ada making their way towards the middle. And once again, this is kind of where we saw the artist drop off in chase. And we see the Ace there on that far corner, but looks like artist will continue in chase here.
Indeed. I'm kind of surprised they didn't go after the Adam there, as Adam did take a hit and is now a fresh hook as well. I'm trying to figure out what the strategy here is, because they seem to be switching from fresh hooks to tunnel out, and so maybe it's just Ada is the easier tunnel here. I don't know. I'm actually surprised they didn't.
Hard to say,
That
but
hits.
they do get the down there at the pallet. That was a close one, probably right at the end of that flight path. But that is going to be huge for the artist, as this is going to be their first survivor on second hook. 1 hook away from being sent back to the campfire via the entity. However, survivors have taken this time to reset and done a gen as well.
Yeah, they are using, again, the anti-deadlock strat that we've seen probably since Season 2, right? When survivors started adapting and, 99ing a corner gen.
Yeah, it makes a lot of sense. Not to mention now we do see a really heavy gen split here, that 2-2 split. And so at this point in time, things are looking quite grim for the artist. However, I want to say we're around the same point in the game last match where we saw the Spirit also kind of lose a lot of their pressure towards this end game. But I don't know if we're going to see a clutch for the people here.
Yeah, it looks like they might get the funnel out here on the Ada. However, wow, Ace actually does get get rid of the crows with the flashlight there. And we've seen some counterplay like this. If survivors are really, really good with that flashlight, and it seems like the Ace is, getting this Ada down might actually be really, really difficult. Yeah, there's the flashlight again. And the firecracker insurance.
I was about to say, and a firecracker to boot. And looks like these survivors really trying to make sure this Ada stays up. Ace, I think, needs to be dealt with before this artist is really able to go after the Ada. As we do hear another gen popping off, 1 away, and it's not that corner gen. Like you said, they have taken their time in 99 to 2 AT. Counterplaying deadlock, as we also are seeing them go over to the shack side. Things are not looking great.
They really, really aren't. And yeah, and Adam's over here ready for the exit gate. That means that Claudette is over, ready to pop the generator. Worth noting, Claudette also hasn't been hooked, so she is a safe bet to put all the way across the map and make sure they don't give a fresh hook stay here. I think we're looking at potentially Eternal pulling out with a really difficult first killer game, but they have played this so well. And yeah, now they're giving up the Ada. Wait, no, Adrenaline!
Yeah, not just yet. There was a John, maybe a little bit mistimed, as Ada does go down to the 2-tap, and we will note that there's that haste aspect. The survivors are keenly aware of the existence of a no-ed. However, I don't think it's going to matter.
I would have to agree. They do finish that exit gate on one side. However, 2 survivors over here. Both of these survivors are fresh hook. If they get it down here and camp it out, that still could be a win condition for them.
It's going to be really close. If we're looking at the scorecard right now, Ada out of the match, death hook. Adam, death hook. That'd be 6 points. Ace would be an additional 3. So that would get them ever so close. However, I don't think it's going to be close enough, as that's 15 points. And I think the survivors might just get a little bit more, as one of them is fresh and will be able to get out, whether that's the Claudette or the Adam.
Yeah, I was about to say, wait, hold on, they're still in that exit gates. Okay, so they did finish the exit gate there. They did cleanse Noed. However, that's not the Adam that was on the exit gate as well. They cleansed the Noed. Yeah, if they could organize an unhook here without giving a hook trade, that will be able to secure. Oh, can they block this?
I think they might be able to. Really what they need to do is they need to get the Adam. If they don't get the Adam, I don't think they can get the win here. However, it looks like they're going to be going for the tunnel out on Claude instead, trying to keep them in the match via
Oh, but you got the body block?
Yeah, what they need to do there, they need to put out the crows, but they don't do so in time. They get it on the Ace. They don't get the down on the Claude. And that's the 3-man out, and I believe that will secure Ruby Wolves' victory in set number, not Ruby Wolves, sorry, Eternal's victory in set number 1.
I was about to say, yeah, I think if they got the hit on the ace at the end there with the crow, I think if they had decided not to use the crow, they might have been able to get the hit on the Claudette. It looked like they were close enough, but again, I don't know what their perspective was. It was really, really close at the end there. Eternal pulling out an insane amount of escapes on the survivor side. That was really impressive.
Yeah, absolutely. I will point out, though, really close match. Only a 5-point difference in the grand scheme of things.
Wow.
So really, really close to say the least. The artist just was not able to eke out those additional 5 points to force a tie. But with that being said, we are going to be moving into set number 2, where we are going to be seeing Ruby Wolf's Spirit versus Eternal Survivor team. But before we do set that up, we are going to go on a quick break. As always, though, if you guys haven't already, make sure to stop on by and say hi over at Hug Them. They are a Dead by Daylight competitive community very similar to Champs and Fog. In fact, they are going to be hosting the entirety of Group B over on their channel, qualifiers and all, where we'll be taking Group A over here on Champions, as we do have some real changes coming up, so definitely keep an eye out for that as well. Make sure to stop on by, say hi, drop a follow, and join their Discord over at Pugdom. That being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Stay tuned, folks. everybody. Welcome back to set number 2, trial number 3. We are heading to the Dead Dog Saloon, and we're going to see another spirit, this time from Ruby Wolves, not Eternal. And I'll be honest, the fact that Eternal's going to fire back with the Plague, I think I prefer Plague in this situation over Spirit, but I don't know. What do you think?
It's going to be really interesting. We haven't seen a Plague this entire season in Group A, so it really does depend on how well they are able to play the Vommy Mommy. But that being said, we do see Spirit venturing out and trying to see where these survivors are. We'll say some pretty good gen setups here for the Spirit.
The only downside is that it is on top of the saloon, but even then, it's facing the side of the 3-gen over here. That is actually something I don't see too often anymore. I'm used to seeing, back in this Gallows area is where I used to see a 3-gen. But the fact that this 3-gen can spawn over by saloon now is insane to me.
Yeah, absolutely. We hear the Ada going back and forth, trying to mess with the Spirit there. Spirit, though, being able to suss out where the Ada is going and will successfully get the hit as they do move into the main building. Main, though, hasn't really been set up for a chase, and it looks like Spirit will drop as they are concerned about these generators being worked on.
It does in the way, and yeah, both of these generators do have a lot of progress. Claudette with the sprint burst, it seems like, and Ace over here, I'm trying to figure out what Ace is holding. Is that a flashlight?
It may have been. We saw Ace with the flashlight before, so it'd make a lot of sense. And we do see the pallet there, but he's getting turned around, and Spirit with the cheeky hit, as they will go for the phase walk and go for the down on the Ace at the LT wall, though Ace looks like doubling back, and both kind of been turned around of where to go back into the LT wall as they are going to move into the corrupted zone. However, a pallet here will save the Ace and extend the chase just a little bit longer.
I was about to say, yeah, Ace just, doing silent Ace things. Again, making the Spirit whiff. However, they will get the hit at the TNL here, and this will be first down for the Spirit. And I'm wondering, since this entire time this 3 has been corrupted, will we just see them camp this out? Will this be a camp to second stage? Ada already on top of the saloon, trying to get that gen worked on.
Yeah, honestly, once Purple's down, it makes a lot of sense. Want to break into its 3-gen. We'll say, though, that it's going to be really awkward for the Spirit here, especially hooking, as we do see the Kate come in for the unhook almost immediately, potentially setting up that deliverance play.
It would seem so. An Ace, a little bit of speed. Oh yeah, wait. With built-in borrowed time and the speed boost, they're literally as fast as a 110 killer, aren't they?
Yeah, pretty much.
Cries in 110 killer main. Anyway, they will get this hit here, it looks like. Phase walk coming back up in just a second.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing here. We're just waiting for this phase walk. Ace trying to bait it out, but I think they will get it down nonetheless. Now the question of the day is there a decisive strike to save this Ace? And it does appear to be the case.
They do get that decisive strike, and now the question is there a balanced landing to boot? I think there is. This Ace got a huge amount of distance. I think that was balanced.
Yeah, I think you're right. Getting a little bit of distance here. However, the Ace will end up going down pretty quickly thereafter. No way to evade the Spirit as she does phase walk and gets the down. And this will be second hook for Ace as he'll be 1 hook away from getting sent back to the campfire via the entity. Yeah, that was the downside. Survivors will really focus in on that generator, breaking that 3-gen, even though main kind of rough for the Spirit to get to. We do see a Scourge Hook Pain Resonance though there on the gallows, where we did hear earlier how much progression it had. Did not have a lot.
It really didn't. So Survivors really did commit to that 2nd-gen on top of the saloon. However, now, like, okay, the funny thing is, we say that there's not a really good 3-gen here left. However, the gens still are arguably closer than they were on Suffo Pit. It's just nature of the beast. This is a smaller map, so these gens are a bit closer. There is still a latent 3-gen with that one in the back there.
Yeah, it does look like an Ada getting pushed off here.
For the people!
Yeah, that for the people has been really, really strong. We've seen in both Spirit matches, and that Talon attempt is going to be hindered quite significantly.
Absolutely. It's even the same way that it was done in the first trial we saw today, where, you know, they ate the decisive strike, and then immediately after that decisive strike, For the People comes in and just really makes the tunnel out hard. 3rd generator getting popped. These Survivors, I'm not gonna lie, Spirit, this match, Spirit has struggled on both ends. Both these Survivor teams are very, very good at tackling the Spirit.
Yeah, I will say though, Ada gonna be caught out here in the LT wall, and looks like Spirit will go for them. Once again, going into main, though, we have noticed before that there hasn't been a lot of setup here, so Spirit may not be able to get the down, and will not be able to do it at the window.
That's what I was wondering when they went into the phase walk. I was wondering if Spirit had the distance required to get there, and just a brief second of hesitation, wondering if they went back to that wall or not, and it cost them the hit and the down here, and they're going to break off. This 4th generator is almost done too, it seems like. So these Survivors, again, tackling all these gens, so much pressure. This killer is sweating bullets, I feel like.
Yeah, absolutely. Spirit trying to get this phase walk before Ace is able to go for the balanced landing, but Ace will get it off the top and moving towards Water Wheel.
Yeah, however, Spirit does have their phase walk back. A 4th generator falling here. And the question is, can they get this kill? They do get the down. However, there might be a Survivor nearby, as they did plan that out. Or at least making the killer think so.
Yeah, I mean, that's the question of the day, right? Like, when a Survivor goes down at a pallet, is there someone there? There is the case, but I don't think she does.
What?
She does get the pallets done.
How? And, oh my goodness, and they finished the 5th generator. Adrenaline coming out for the killer. They didn't even get the hit on the Kate there. That's incredible. That might have been a ping issue there for the killer, because yeah, that seems a bit weird. However, this is this Survivor that got the first unhooks. They have deliverance.
Yeah, and I think
man.
the Spirit realizes that too, as they're going to be going for the X8 instead. However, it's pretty well progressed. Ada will get it open. No way for it down.
This is looking like an absolute nightmare scenario for the Spirit. These Survivors played so incredibly well. It is, again, the internal killer main in me is kind of sick right now. I feel nauseous from how well these Survivors played here. This is kind of incredible.
Yeah, no, I mean, they are known to be one of the best competitive teams for a reason. And I get a sense here, you want to know what the Spirit is doing. I think they want to burn EGC as much as possible, also trying to avoid the unbreakable play.
That's a really good point, and it could work out in their favor here, assuming there's no, yeah. Well, no, they're just going to go straight for the pickup here. I'm kind of surprised at that, because, yeah, I think you're right. They're trying to burn endgame clock there, but that's 3 minutes they have to wait out, and that is, yeah, survivors are already healing up for it, too. Wait, and it's right by, oh, man, I don't think they can't prevent Kate from getting Hatch here, can they? That's within the range of running. It's right next to Shaq.
Yeah, it's a rough situation because you go into a deli, you sprint first over to Shaq, everyone leaves as soon as you're off the hook. Hatch spawns. I think that they have a lot of potential for outs here.
I think what you have to do is you have to fake it, make the survivor think you're going to try to wait out the hit, phase walk, and then close the hatch.
Yeah, and there it is.
Oh, but you have the body block.
Yeah, they're trying to get that body block, but I'm not sure if they're going to get in time. That sprint burst might just get them enough distance as Hatch there is the 4-man out.
Yeah, we were even talking about the Spirit did switch it up at the end there, trying to get over there and close it, but wasn't able to phase walk in time. Absolutely, just, again, absolutely sickening survivor play from Eternal here. Just so well coordinated, so well, like, it's like a well-oiled machine. I think everything went, they got their decisive strike off, they got their deliverance ready, and they were able to for the people the ace to make the tunnel target that much more difficult. That was an incredible survivor performance.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Amazing show, as always, from this Survivor team. But with that being said, we are going to be setting up for what could be the final trial of this match, as you will see Eternal bringing out the Plague versus Ruby Wolf Survivor team. And I'll say it, Ruby Wolf Survivor team has a uphill battle, to say the least.
Because that was 3 stages, right? They got 3 stages?
Yeah, I believe so. I think it was only 3. We were actually, I was thinking, was it only 3? And so I had Shelby go back into the VOD real quick to confirm. And so we'll get that final tally up in just a moment. But with that being said, I don't know. Against the Plague, I think this is going to be tough. But with that being said, we are going to get set up for this lobby. But before we do want to remind everyone here today that you, the viewers, are our sponsors. So the ads they watch, all the bits they tip, all the subs they buy, and of course all the Rogue Energy buy using the code COTF is going to support James and Fog and our prize pools for Group A and Group B. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Stay tuned, folks. Alright folks, welcome back to what could possibly be the final trial. I'm not going to call it early, but Eternal does have a very achievable win condition here, especially with the Plague. Honestly, I think if they just camp the first person to death, I don't know if it's enough for Ruby Wolves to come back out of this. This is a very achievable win condition.
Yeah, it's going to be really rough here. If we're looking at the points, Ruby Wolf Spirit only got 8 points last match. That means if they are able to camp out one survivor, that's a total of 6 points. Any hook thereafter secures the win. Alternatively, they could just fresh hook 3 survivors and call it there.
That's, oh yeah, literally just fresh hook 3 different people. Yeah, very, very true. Also, what does their crypt invention look like? So wait, hold on. Yeah, they've got a 3-gen if they really feel like it. This is the premier Plague setup, and they have a pool back in their 3-gen on the. Oh, this is gross. This is insane RNG for the Plague.
Yeah, definitely gonna be a little bit rough here for the survivors to break into that 3-gen, and they do need to get everyone out. We do see scratch marks here. Looks like to be the Claudette, as they're going to move into the main building, potentially for a bounce landing, though Plague kind of getting a bit faked out there as the Claudette does break line of sight, and we do see a dropped medkit and a head on to boot.
Interesting. I'm wondering if the Jake intended to take the chase here, as they maybe they're the target that wants to be the sacrificial lamb, but we'll have to see. Somehow not getting the infection again. That is the only thing that I dislike about Plague, is that her vomit is network. What do you say? Network reliant? Kind of like Ghostface's leaning.
Yeah, kind of the same way. However, we will see them drop chase with the Jake. Looks like they're going towards Gallows, trying to protect their 3-gen, as Jake will continue to progress his infection. We do see Survivor back here as well. Plague trying to avoid the stun there, and this Survivor kind of put a bit of Houdini, but Plague choosing violence, taking their tool very early and getting the hit on the Nancy, who just barely misses the 2-tap.
That was so insanely close. It was incredible, and regardless, oh, I can't believe that didn't hit. However, he is a, oh! Yeah, we see Claudette around the corner, I think, ready for the pickup. However, she's gonna go for the pickup anyway. This could be a huge loss if they get it. Nah, they're not gonna stick around and try and get that Palisade. This will be first hook on the Nancy. Is that Jake nearby? Did I hear Jake moan?
I want to say potentially. It's sometimes hard to tell with the whispers in your ear that only get louder with every update. And
oh my goodness,
looks
right?
like Jake has been fully infected, and the Plague in a really strong position as they have this hook in the middle of the 3-gen. As we said prior, realistically speaking, all they need to do is camp the Nancy out to death, and with their power in hand, I mean, they have a lot of time to play around here.
Absolutely they do. Also, worth noting is they also have the Devotee's Amulet, which gives them an additional 20 seconds of their power. So that's why they have their power still. Usually a Plague would be out by now, but not this Plague. They still got plenty of time. And worth noting too is that 2 survivors are healthy, so they could do a hook trade here relatively easy without much consequence. Whereas Plague normally spreading out their sickness early on, so that way you have to start cleansing before you go in for these saves. However, they're not coming in.
Yeah, it doesn't look like it. It looks like they are trying to just pressure these gens through and through. We will see Nancy move on to second stage, and realistically speaking, I mean, if Nancy dies, that's only 6 points. If by some means these survivors are able to complete these gens before Nancy goes back to the campfire via the entity, I mean, I guess there's a chance.
Yeah, there is no deadlock here, so... Oh, I think we saw someone peek their head out there. And yeah, I think you're right. I think if they're all concentrating on gens right now... Wait, why is Nia infected? What she become infected from?
I imagine she may have touched a infected generator, and I want to say, and it's hard to say from my perspective, if there is a kinship slowing things down.
I don't know. It doesn't look like there is. Yeah, it's continuing to... Yeah.
It looks like it's continuing to progress. I was hoping that maybe, you know, Claudette and Nia, someone was coming in to get the kinship value, but it does not appear to be the case. And, oh yeah, that's right, kinship is banned in Group A. Sometimes always confusing with the Group A, Group B, so good call there, Shelby, kind of figuring that and going, wait 1 second, it is banned, as we do ban things that modify known timers. But we do see that infected gen, but no sign of the survivors, and we're kind of back in this 3-gen scenario, and at this point in time, Ruby Wolves cannot give up a single survivor.
Absolutely. You know, it's okay. I was thinking, like, wait, is kinship allowed? But it's okay. You know, we're allowing Starstruck next season, so I'm kidding.
No, we're not!
Oh, man.
I'll never hear the end of it from these survivors if that were allowed. But Plague in a really powerful position here. Honestly, I think all the Plague needs to do is sit in their 3-gen and wait for the survivors to come to them, because they also have a pool right here, a pool that these survivors can't really access, so they can't really reset. And eventually, everyone's just going to be broken. There's going to be one pool left for them to cleanse in order to be able to reset. And like we said, Eternal just needs one hook. One more hook on any survivor, and they will get enough points to close this out.
Worth noting, Nia is at this generator, so they did find the survivor that is one tap. Taking their time to kick this. Yeah, Nia's over here at the main building, and this Nia's being very, very brazen for someone who is very hookable.
Yeah, absolutely. Potentially a bounce line to get a little bit of distance here. It looks like Nia will, in fact, pushing the Plague to drop the chase.
Yeah, also hearing that Bamboozle come out is kind of surprising there, but I guess on this map it makes a little bit of sense, as that main building can be a bit of a nightmare scenario for Plague to get a shot around. Oh, is there somebody over here? There's scratch marks.
There was at some point Jen being worked on, some scratch marks here and there, however, no sign of them, and looks like the Plague searching for a head-on Jake, but does not appear to be the case.
About to say, yeah, and then we see Colubrine going off over there on the saloon generator. That generator's probably gonna be done really soon, but they still have to break this 3-gen, and I have no idea how they're going to break this 3-gen at all.
I don't. I think the answer is they don't, unless they just play absolutely out of their minds, use their exhaustion perks to a T. But exhaustion perks like Overcome, Null and Void, Balance Land, you need to get the Gallows in time. And so, like,
and Head-On isn't going to cut it.
Head-On is definitely not going to cut it, I'll tell you what. You know, fool me once, shame on me. Fool me twice, though. And speaking of, I do believe that there is the Jake.
Yep, and they are ready for the full infection. Jake, what are you doing, sweetie?
So what they're trying to do there actually is trying to crouch mid-vomit, and it would basically deny the Plague a lot of value. However, though, getting caught out in the middle of nowhere, forcing the Jake to go down, and that there will be the final hook the Plague needs, as that will get Eternal 9 points. At this point in time, I mean, things were looking grim before. We once again see a hook in their 3-gen. Things are looking very grim now.
Yeah, I was about to say, this is not looking good here, and that's what I was kind of... I understand, like, the what is it, the crouch tech against Plague when she's vomiting. It's just that he's in the middle of nowhere. That is the worst place to get caught out at without a sprint burst or something.
Yeah, it just may have been a little bit of a miscalculation on the end of the Jake, unfortunately costing Ruby Wolves the potential win here. I mean, to be honest, they played really well throughout this entire entire trial. It's unfortunate, though, that with the win condition being so low for Eternal and the Plague, they just were not able to come out on top. Though we will see the Claude in a pretty decent chase here as they are getting a bit of distance. Plague trying to vomit through the water wheel, but just not able to make it work.
Yeah, the same thing that I do as a trickster main is there are boards that are placed in Shack in other places that are perfectly at the height where you throw your projectile. And it's perfect when Bomby Mommy spits up, and it's perfect for tricksters' knives to get bounced off of. It's super annoying. But regardless, that was a really good shot.
Yeah, no, really good
shot.
Really good play there by the Plague, getting Claude down into the basement with a lot of time left on this amulet. I mean, number one, we already know that the win condition has been met, and Jake with the attempted head-on to stun the Plague. Unfortunately, I was going to say a two-tap, but not getting two-taps right away. Looks like Jake will be joining the Claude as we get half the basement Christmas tree set up and ready to go for the holidays.
Yeah, I think the survivors realize that this game has tipped out of their favor finally, and maybe try to get a cheeky head-on into a cheeky flashbang. Maybe highlight that YouTube content or something. But regardless, yeah, now it's just a matter of where the Nia is. Also worth noting, Nia's been infected for a while, and she hasn't progressed, which means she's walking the edge of this map, I think.
Yeah, that would make a little bit of sense. Probably, walking or crouching, doing something that's not progressing that infection. It's a little detail that people, especially survivors, forget so often, that if you're not running and not interacting with an objective of any form, you don't get infected. It will just pause the timer.
Yeah, it's kind of a, I forget, is there a, no, the infection for Wesker ticks up
regardless.
Yeah, that takes up regardless. I was about to say, I feel like there was another killer that has something similar, but I might just be thinking. I might just be overthinking it.
Yeah, I think Plague is the only one, and we see Plague trying to hunt around to find this Nia, but to no avail, as we do see the survivor in basement, I think potentially with their timer paused.
Yeah, possibly?
They've been down there for quite some time, I will say.
That's a fair point. It seems like it's still regressing slowly here. Oh, there's the cleanse, but wait, where'd they cleanse? Was it right there?
Yeah, Plague trying to search around too, trying to figure out which one they cleansed at to get a better idea of where the Nia might be. However, we will see the survivor in basement go back to the campfire via the entity, and it looks like Plague is ready to close the hatch as soon as it spawns. Comes down to Nia now being able to know where the exit gates might be.
I was about to say, yeah, we'll have to see where these exit gates spawn. Oh no, there's no way. Well, okay, yeah, I also forgot, it's Plague. Plague has a very strong counterplay to exit gates.
Yeah,
wait,
they
what?
really do, and kind of sitting here waiting for survivors at the gates. I get a feeling that they might have a perk in the back of their pocket they are waiting to activate. And,
see, I just thought they didn't care.
They're not. Yeah, they are not worried. We'll put it that way. We'll put it that way.
Fair enough. Fair enough. I was about to say, like, they're just hanging out over here, thinking about drinking, some corrupt purge, but not committing anything just yet. Yeah, Plague is just. And again, we even touched on it. I'm surprised we haven't seen more Plague in Group A. This killer is so incredibly strong. Oh, what's that perk? What's that perk?
I feel like you'd be very well aware of what that is, and that there is a no way out. And we do see the Nia setting up for a 1v1, it looks like, at the shack as EGC is ticking down. And we will see the Plague with the vomit, but narrowly dodging it. I mean, I will say these fighters do a really great job of dodging these corrupt purges, and otherwise Plague with a swing and a miss, and looks like Nia will be going back into shack, but Plague barely missing their corrupt purge there, and I don't think they'll miss a second time.
Nah, very, very well done. A little bit of exhibition match at the end there, and it was very nice to see, but yeah, Plague just, and especially they had Bamboozle too. Yeah, Plague is just such a strong killer. I love the design of this killer, especially after they, remember about a year ago, they gave her a quality of life update? Yeah, I love this killer. I want to see more of it. Group A, next season, please bring more Plague. I love this killer.
Yeah, I would tend to agree. Definitely would be a fun to see more top tier play. But with that being said, that there will officially end set number 2 and this match as Eternal will walk away victorious. And we will see him tomorrow for the finals. So I am quite excited about that.
They had smash hit parental guidance. I love this combo so much.
It is very, very cute. You can always appreciate a good smash hit parental guidance or a head-on parental guidance, so on and so forth. But
absolutely,
these teams played out of their minds. Some really close matches in set number 1. Unfortunately, set number 2, the Spirit just unable to get some additional hook states. But either ways, really fun matches. Hopefully, you guys all enjoyed it too. With that being said, we are going to be back in just about another 43 minutes. Excuse me.
I'm about to say, shouldn't I be the one sneezing over here, not you? Sorry, if you all couldn't tell, I've become somewhat under the weather, unfortunately. So, yeah, sorry about the lack of vocal quality from me. It'll be restored soon enough, I promise. But in the meantime, yeah, that is all for this first match. We do have a second one again coming up in about 45 minutes here, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, congratulations to Eternal on your victory in GGWP 2 Ruby Wolves. Been a fantastic set. And we'll be back very shortly, folks, so stay tuned for that. And, yeah, Gilt, got anything else for us?
Yeah, overall, just kind of mirroring what you said. GG well played to both teams. We'll see Eternal tomorrow at 2 p.m. CST, along with their opponent from this upcoming match, whoever is the winner. And we'll also see a Ruby Wolves for the bronze match as well, 12 p.m. CST. So definitely make sure to stop on by, say hi, and support your favorite teams here over on Champs of the Fog, as this will wrap up Season 5 before Season 6 qualifiers, January 14th. With that being said, we'll be back in just a bit.
Stay tuned, folks.